Hello students, your instructor here, Geometry Drillo, with another screencast. This one about bouncing balls and Flash. And a few things highlighted here to make sure that you take notice to setting up your document. So, let's see, it says Flash, start screen, ActionScript 3 file format, so file is in Flash. I'll go to File, New, and I'll select Flash file, ActionScript 3, and I'll click OK. I can see here it is. I may have to zoom out a little bit if you want to see the whole thing. Let's go back here. It says set the document to be 800 by 600 pixels and have a frame rate of 30 frames per second. Alright, so let's go to modify document, 800 by 600 pixels. You can leave the background color white, or if you want you can change it. Maybe we want a nice smoky gray color like that. Click OK. Oh, also frame rate should be at 30, so if it's not, just type in right there 30 frames per second and hit OK. Alright, so again, I can zoom out if I want to see that. I can go to fit in window to fit that in there. Now I'm going to need two balls that bounce, one with a shape tween right there, and one with a motion tween. So let's go back here, and what I'm going to do is make two layers here. So I'm going to call this layer ball 1. I'm going to have a new layer set up. I'm going to call this ball 2. Right now I'm going to lock ball 2 so I can't work on it, and turn it off. Even though there's nothing on it, I'm going to turn it off. Similar in Photoshop Illustrator when you turn layers off and on. So I'm working on the ball 1 layer, and I'm going to, before I even draw my shape, I want to make sure that I have my stroke and my fill set up the way that I want it. Now when I work in Flash, I hate it because strokes always are separate items. So I'm going to click on my stroke, which is a little pencil here, and set it to none. In my fill, I'm just going to set this to, oh, let's go with a bright blue color, or is it cyan color? Right there is good. Now I'm going to go up here. You might see a rectangle tool. Go up here, and I'm going to go to oval primitive, and I suggest you use oval primitive when you're doing, you're drawing shapes in Flash. I got that. I'm going to hold shift and draw a circle, so it's a nice perfect circle, just like this. Now this one is going to be a shape tween, so if you want, we can rename the layer so it's very obvious what we're doing. So we're working on the shape tween right now, and what I'm going to do is at 30 frames per second, to the ball's here, and at 30 frames, let's say I want it to be down on the ground, so I'm going to right click on this one, or if I'm on a Mac, that would be control click. If you don't have your right click set up, I'm going to go to insert a keyframe, and at this point what I'm going to do is move the ball, let's say down to there. Alright, then I'm going to right click in here, anywhere between this keyframe and this keyframe, right click and do a shape tween. A keyframe just means there are characteristics or position of an object at a certain place in time. So at this point, at no point in time, at 0 point in time, or at frame 1 it's here, frame 30 it's here, and the shape tween is filled in all those middle steps. So you should notice that your frames will turn green, and it's one big arrow. Okay, so now we're going to progress further. The ball's here, 30 frames, maybe it's going to roll along the bottom for a little bit, for a second. So let's go to 60 frames now, that'll be one more second. Right click, insert a keyframe. I'm going to move the ball like this, and then I'm going to go back in here and create a shape tween. So now I can see my ball's going here, coming down, there's one keyframe, and it's going over until it gets to this keyframe. You get the idea. So let's say at 90 frames, I want to have the ball way up here. Right click, insert a keyframe, and I'm going to move the ball up there. Now I highly suggest you make the keyframe and then move it when you're doing your shape tweens. Again, go back in here, create a shape tween. Keep going. 120. Maybe I want the ball, let's see, oops, create a keyframe. Now, let's say I want the ball to bounce, like it bounced off the ceiling. Right there. And right click, create a shape tween. And then I'm going to go to frame 150. Right click, insert a keyframe, and maybe the ball is way down here now. Oops. Actually, what we probably want is for the ball to be back where it started. So in this case what we're going to do is actually I'm going to delete the ball here, go all the way back to frame 1, find it, right click and copy it. I'm going to go all the way back